Good morning, fabulous YouTube family. Welcome back to another video. Or good afternoon, whenever you are watching this video. Today, I'm gonna offer you guys a little story time. And I want you to keep in mind with this video that we are gonna be discussing weight gain. We are gonna be discussing weight loss. We're gonna be talking about how I have moved on from my issues regarding food. So if that is something that you are currently in a place to listen to, and if it's a story you were interested in hearing, I would love to have you stick around. And if you're currently not in a position to listen to this, no worries, you can click out now and you can head over to my VLOGTOBER playlist because there's lots of other content to choose from. Have a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's get started. My hair is still wet because I finished a run this morning and had to wash my hair, so it's not looking the greatest, but it normally doesn't look the greatest. But I did put on a fun furry top from Amazon. I put out some cute decorations because we are coming into the holidays, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to bring up this story time. So as we're coming into the holidays, one of the biggest concerns I typically hear when I'm working with clients is that they are overly concerned about gaining weight throughout the holidays by maybe indulging in things that they wouldn't normally indulge in. As I mentioned, this is a very common concern. People are very concerned about overeating during the holidays, having the drinks, having the cakes, having the candies, all of the food and all of the things that go along with that. And they're already like anticipating January 1st as being a fresh start for them because they can have a new relationship with food, a new relationship with working out, and they can have a fresh start to reach their goals. So I am actually someone who for a very long time has struggled with, I'm gonna call it disordered eating. And this is something I've talked about on my Instagram before, so this isn't like a new topic or anything like that, but I'm also somebody who has come out on the other side of that. And I think it is such an important topic to share and talk about. And if you are going through this right now, I want you to understand that you are not alone in this. And there are so many people out there who struggle with disordered eating, and there 100% is hope for that and recovering from that. I'm just gonna give you a brief of my story, my background, and then I'm going to tell you how I have come out on the other side of that. Feeling happier and healthier than I ever have at 41. My entire life, I have always been someone who has been extremely active. Not only someone who was taking ballet when I was a child, but I also was a competitive gymnast, so I was doing both of those things. Weight and food were never issues for me growing up. I could eat whatever I wanted, whatever my heart desired, and because I was so active and doing so many activities, I just didn't have to worry about it. I never even had a thought of it. So my issues surrounding food were never really a thing until I actually got pregnant with my son. At that point, I had taken a break from dancing and performing. I was enjoying all of the fun things that come with being pregnant, including indulging in things I wasn't normally indulging in, being less active. I really wasn't taking any classes at that time. I was just really focused on, enjoying my pregnancy. So in that span of time, up until my son was born, I gained 67 pounds, exactly 67 pounds. And that was something I had never experienced in my life because I'd always been so fit and so active. So after my son was born, just like most new mothers, you struggle a little bit trying to find your balance in life. You're not sleeping well, you're really taking as good care of yourself as you should be because you now have this new beautiful baby and you're focused on that. And I just wasn't finding time to really get regular workouts in, finding myself in this whole new world of like motherhood and just trying to figure it out, right? So right around that one and a half year mark or so, I decided that I was going to get back into dance. I was going to start performing again. I was going to go back to teaching, and I was just going to do all of that again. I had taken enough time off of everything that I felt really ready. But when I went back to that, I had all of these crazy insecure feelings because I wasn't the same person I was when I had left dance originally. It threw me into this crazy pattern of restricting my foods. And I'm not even going to get into all of the details because I would never want anyone to follow the path or get ideas from this video and go and try these things. But I was highly restricting my calories. I had gotten so completely obsessed with it that I dropped that 65 pounds plus another 10 pounds probably within 6 months or so. And I had gotten down to my lowest weight that I'd ever been in my life. I was so thin at that point that I remember my family members, they were concerned because they would see how restrictive I was being. If there was a dinner out or a family function, I literally would stress it because I wouldn't want to eat anything that was on the menu at the restaurants. I would be so hyper focused on getting extra exercise in that day or restricting my calories so that I could have dinner that night. This type of behavior continued for a lot of years. I was not taking care of myself. I was not drinking enough water. I was not eating enough food. I was also performing a lot during that time. So I was doing a lot of rehearsals. I was taking care of my son. I was teaching classes. I was doing a lot of things. And I remember one specific instance where my son and I had gone shopping. We'd gone to Walmart, and I was walking around and I just wasn't feeling great. I could feel myself kind of fading a little bit, but because I was being so hyper focused on my food, I just didn't want to stop and eat anything. So I remember having like a handful of almonds or something that I had in my purse. And then I felt this overwhelming like anxiety and fear, and I had to sit down and I was shaking. And I remember calling my dad at the time and saying, I need you to come over here. Something's wrong. My dad showed up. He asked me, what have you eaten? I told him I hadn't eaten much that day. He was like, we're going to get something. And there happened to be a McDonald's right there. So I remember we had lunch, and it was like instantly I felt better. I was clear-headed. I wasn't shaking anymore. And I remember that was the day where I was like, you have got to do something about this. You've got to change something about this. You have to find a healthy relationship with food, and you've got to stop worrying about gaining weight. I'd gotten to a point where I was so worried that I was going to put that weight back on, that pregnancy weight back on, that I wouldn't allow myself to enjoy anything in life. Like if family and I were going to go to a movie or something like that, I would have to pre-plan my snacks that I would take with me, and it would be like almonds and a little bit of cheese, and I would take like a sparkling water, and I would just sit there and try to sip my sparkling water. And that is no way to live your life. I was able to trick myself into believing that this behavior was okay because people were telling me how great I looked all the time. Professionally, I was doing really well. And so I was just able to kind of trick myself that this was okay. About 2013, I started my business, Body by Jenny, and I had made a promise to myself that I was finally going to get myself to a healthy, stable position with my disordered eating. Right around the time when I started researching intuitive eating and learning the benefits of that, and I really started implementing those things into my daily routines. I stopped using exercise as a punishment and started using it as a way to feel mentally better, to have more clarity, to have more energy. Before, I would use it as a punishment. If I ate something that wasn't in my, idea of what I should be eating, I would then go outside and walk for 30 minutes. I would pick up weights while I was watching TV and try to burn those calories off. And it mentioned this is just such a vicious cycle. At my birth certification, I was teaching ballet, and I can say one of the things that really struck home with me and really pushed me in a direction of getting better was seeing the young dancers that I was teaching. When you come from a dance background and a gymnastics background, and you're constantly wearing leotards and seeing yourself in a mirror every day, all day, you're performing on stage with people who might be thinner than you, sometimes play tricks on your brain. It can make you think that maybe you're not good enough. I never wanted any of those young dancers that I was teaching to feel any type of way like that. Like it would break my heart if I thought that any one of those girls felt insecure about their bodies. In order to allow myself to be a good role model to these kids and also allow myself to be a good motivator and somebody who is inspiring to my clients, I had to make some changes. Like I said, I found intuitive eating. It completely changed my life. It's something I still do to this day. Everybody is on a different path as far as this goes. But for me, it allows me to get in tune with what my body needs. I'm going to link some books below. I'm going to link some YouTube videos below if it's something that you're interested in. It's not a diet. It's really just listening to your body and trying to fuel your body the best way possible. Current time in my life, I do not believe in extreme dieting. I do not believe in dieting, period. I find it best for me to listen to my body, to try to fuel my body with whole foods, to try to make sure that I'm getting enough water, less coffee, more water. If you've been on my channel though, you know that I am still a little bit of a coffee addict. And so I am working on that. But for the past 10 years or so, I have felt so free from those issues, and mentally, physically, and more emotionally capable of handling things now that I have my health and wellness under control. It's so important for me to live a long and healthy life so that I can be a grandma. That's exactly what I want to be. That's my dream in life, is to be a grandma and spoil my grandkids and just live a long time for my husband and my son. Currently struggling with any type of disordered eating, I would highly suggest reaching out and getting some proper help from a medical professional, somebody you can trust, because I can promise you from experience that there is a better life waiting for you. You can get this under control. I hope that this little story time is helpful for you, but I did want to offer you guys some hope and some motivation. If you're looking to have some fun workouts, some quick workouts, some workouts that you can do at any age and any current fitness level, I'd love for you to check out my playlist. I have lots of mini classes on there. I have a VLOGTOBER series that has lots of 10-minute workouts and all kinds of motivation for you. So I hope that you will subscribe if you are new here, and I love you so much. I'll see you in my next video.